Wonka's out this week. Let's get my thoughts on it right now. All right, let's talk about Wonka. I am your host, Frank Zenka. I am an award winning screenwriter, novelist, comic book writer, and a working line producer, formerly from Hollywood and now in Atlanta, waiting to get back to work at the beginning of the year. So, in the meantime, let's talk about some movies. So, Wonka just released this week, and it's not a movie I would normally go see, but I did want to review it. And Timothy Chalamet, I'm not a really big component of his. A proponent of his. I haven't seen many things that he's in besides like Dune. I think he's okay in Dune. He has a very lean physique. For an action hero that he's supposed to be in Dune. And so now we're into Wonka, and I think he fits this role a lot better. So he is the standout of the film. His acting is through the roof. If it's him singing throughout, he's a major talent. And he was picked perfectly. He just fit this. He was a round peg for a round hole, and it just kind of worked out perfectly. Um, Gene Wilder originally obviously playing the role and making it extremely iconic. And now they're kind of going back in time and showing, how he became, the mogul that we saw in the film, in the original film. So some disappointments as well, but I gotta say, if you're going to see this film and you're not going with children, then it's you've got to be into a mindset, okay? Because it is a film made for children. So you have to really deposit your brain at the door and pick it up later. Because the plot makes absolutely no sense in reality. So when you're watching this film, you are no longer in reality. That's the only way I can put it. And I'll go through like this basic story beats. I won't do any spoilers, but I'll do basic story beats. So the production design is very good, and you kind of have to have good production design here because you're basically building a new world, and that's what this is. He takes that's how you have to look at it. That he lives in a different world, and to me, it's very in line with Mary Poppins. So it has a very Mary Poppins feel to it, where he's almost supernatural to a certain extent, and he is, uh, you know, integrating himself with normal everyday people. So everything that he kind of does seems, extraneous to them, where it's just outside the periphery of reality. So that's how you have to look at it. That he's almost like Mary Poppins. So uh, he makes chocolates from a bag that he opens, like a suitcase that he opens up, and he has all these different ingredients that are just off the wall. And of course, he has. It's kind of like what I guess that Harry Potter, Rowling kind of stole some stuff from Willy Wonka to build, the twins, the store that the twins had. And that's how I kind of saw this too, where he has candy and stuff like that that makes people fly and it makes people change color and it makes, so it's got that, Harry Potter feel to it, which again, Wonka was first. So technically it was great. J.K. Rowling just kind of borrowed from him first, but then it's like a borrow back, you know. So it's a back and forth with the creative choices. So again, it's nothing we really haven't seen before in that sense, But again, it might be for kids. It might be a first time that they've seen something like this, which is great. Some of the first of all, it's directed and written by the two guys that did Paddington and Paddington 2. So it's that team. So again, that's why it has that feel of being made for children, because that's kind of what the world they come from. And they have Ronald Dahl, who did the original film, or I think he wrote the original film. I'm not sure if it came from a book first or not. I'd have to look that up. So Paul King came up with the story, and then he directed, and then Simon Fosby, Farnaby, there it is. He actually did the writing, and he mostly does TV writing outside of the Paddington films. So if you're a fan of Downton Abbey, Jim Carter, I think his name is he's the one that plays Mr. Carson. He's in this film. I was trying to find the other. Matt Lucas is also in it, and if you've ever seen the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland, he plays Tweedledum and Tweedledee. But they blew his face up, so you really can't tell. But once you look at him, you're like, he looks familiar. He looks familiar. Yeah, so this is Jim Carter. Keegan Michael Key. Keegan Michael Key. He plays the main cop in this, and he's addicted to chocolate. So in this film, chocolate is actually a better commodity than money. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's what it is. So chocolate is bigger than money. So he doesn't take bribes in money; he takes bribes in chocolate. And Rowan Atkinson is also in this, and he's also one that gets bribed by chocolate. So there's three guys that are kind of like Macy's and J.C. Penney's, and it's that conglomerate, and each one of them has these big stores, and they've kind of hooked up together to be the chocolate monopoly. So of course they're trying to keep Wonka out, and he comes in basically penniless. Also, Rocky Takar, you might recognize her. So there's like a group of people that he ends up spending a lot of time with that become kind of his crew. And she comes from Sex Education. She played a teacher in Sex Education. So they borrowed people from all over the place. The woman from The Crown is in it that played the middle version of Queen Elizabeth. So it's good. Like I said, it did. Peterson, I forgot Peterson's last name. I'd say I did the other. Peterson Joseph. He was in Timeless. He played like the boss in Timeless. And again, it was him. I was trying to figure out what I knew him from. And forgot what the other woman's name was at the end. But anyway, she has no lines. And she was recognizable to me because I had just seen her in like a Netflix film or something to that effect, with the guy who plays Daredevil. But anyway, I thought she has a really great look. I'm not a fan of women with shaved heads, but she has a really great. Her face is really pretty, and but she has zero lines in this. It's like Tracy Avacor or something like that. I was trying to find her name, but she's probably way down the list because she has no lines. But I guess to be in the film, it's people take, there's no such thing as a small role, right? So people take roles just to meet people and things to that effect. So then let's talk about the Oompa Loompa side. This is where I have a problem. Okay, so they put Hugh Grant in it to be the Oompa Loompa. The Oompa Loompa is too small. He's able to fit in a jar, so he's only this big. The Oompa Loompas were never that big. They were 3 feet, at least 3 feet tall. And there was no reason why they put him in there. Although he did a good job. He had attitude and things like that. So he's constantly stealing chocolate from. Now how? See, that's the other thing. How does he keep making these chocolates with the amount of ingredients he has, and they open the store up. It's got chocolate trees and all this stuff, and he never had the amount. They didn't have any money. They kept sneaking out. It didn't make any sense. None of it made any sense. And then of course the bad guys have to, they have to set them up to be arrested. None of it made any sense. Just as soon as you walk in there, just realize that you're seeing a movie that makes the plot makes no sense. That's why I think it's really made. Yeah, Tracy Efatuer. I got it right. A feature. She has just she's the one that says a great look, but it has no line. But anyway, so yeah, once you're sitting in there and they're singing and they're dancing and they're doing all these different things that are not only fantastical but make no sense. It doesn't. They didn't ground any of it in reality. None of it. None of it. So just walk in there going. That's why I said you gotta leave your brain at the door, because if you try to think about the plot, it doesn't work. So anyway, the little girl I'd say the acting was decent. I saw some of the other reviews that said the acting was, in some points, were not very good. I didn't have any problem with the acting. Again, the set design is phenomenal. He did a great job or I don't even know if it's a he or she, but whoever it was, did a great job on the production design. And it kind of has to, again, you kind of have to have it with that kind of film. And the special effects were decent. Not great, but decent. Like, they had a giraffe in it, and of course, the giraffe was CG. So stuff like that. Some of the backgrounds, you could tell that it was green screen. But I really didn't have any problems with anything. So if I was going to rate it, I would probably rate it but children are going to rate it higher. They're probably going to say this is the best thing they've ever seen. I had little kids in my theater, and all they were bored. They were running back and forth. They were and just screaming. So they were just bored. And it does slow down at times. So you may have, if you do bring your children, they may get bored at times. I'm just letting you know. Costume design was good. It has that old timey ripped, street urchin type of look. But I would probably say like a 7, so 7.5. It's above average. It's probably a 7. It's above average. It's good. It's not great because it's not really made for me, and that's the whole thing. So, and it's really not made for adults. Like, again, if you go, just know that it's really made for children, and you have to look at it through the eyes of a child. I think that's the best way to do it. Just sit down and say, I'm 8 years old again. Which, I didn't feel that way with the original Willy Wonka. I don't think that was made exclusively for children. Some of it gets pretty dark, but it also teaches lessons where I don't feel that there was any morals to the story. There is nothing. Don't be greedy. If I was gonna pick something out, greed is bad. But there's no woke stuff in it. There's, it's just, they don't pull the race card for anything. There's no, what's your pronouns? So none of that's in there. So they stayed away from all that, and I appreciate that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and helping me grow the channel. Happy holidays to everyone. And I will be launching the late pledge in January for Lords of LA. If you didn't get a jump on that, Lords of LA will be up in January for late pledge. And I won't keep it up long because just until artwork gets done, really. We still have like a dozen pages of artwork to do yet. Maria's been working on some of the inks, and I just did an update with one of the pages for the pencils as well. So I'm excited to get that out, and then I'm excited to launch the new game We're going to be doing a card game, me and Mark Spears, who does Spawn covers and things to that effect. So he's a great artist. We're doing a classic monsters thing. I'll get more information as as time goes on. I need to get some reviews out and stuff like that, but I need to get some of the I need to finish the rule book, and I also need to get some of the graphic design finished, which I was hoping to get done by this week, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen yet. All right, well, thanks a lot again, everybody. Happy holidays, and I will keep everybody informed about my next projects. Again, excited to get some stuff out to you guys. All right, thanks, guys. All right, and check out some of my other videos. Give me the like, give me the subscribe. The thumbs up really happens. Subscribe if you can. I do movie reviews, comic book reviews, and board games. The Mystia playthrough just went out today as well for the first era. All right, talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.